Good day! We are here to discuss some details about this instructional design that is called the Assure model.
History and overview of Assure model. At 1993, the Assure model was originally developed at the University of Indiana. The people behind the developments of this model are professionals, all with years of experience teaching in both public schools and universities. These people are Robert Hynek, Michael Molinda, and James Russell. A sure model is a prescriptive model that is designed to help teachers in terms of organizing and developing instructions that frequently utilizes technology resources. This model is more likely to be under and based on the constructivist theory, which believes that in order to achieve learning, students must be involved in the learning process.
Assure model is an acronym of a six-step process that starts with analysis, and A stands for analyzing the learner's characteristics. This first step is one of the three most important steps in this model. It is important for the teacher to analyze their students' characteristics in order to know how you will deliver an effective learning instruction. It is also important to know their personality in terms of age and grade level, including their skills, knowledge, learning styles, and even their prior learning experiences. In this way, you will be able to teach them in a more effective manner.
S stands for stating the objectives. It is always important to know where you are heading to. Even when you're traveling, you need to know your directions to know what you will find at the end. In learning, one must know the learning objectives. A teacher must know the desired outcome of a particular lesson. What should the students achieve? What should the students be able to do at the end of the lesson? These are some of the questions that you will answer regarding the desired learning outcomes. Without knowing where you're heading to at the lesson, it will be harder for you to find an effective way of teaching the lesson and easier route for you to achieve the outcomes.
The third step is the second S of the acronym, that stands for the select, modify, or design materials. This step is where the selection and designing of instruction belongs. Through this, the instructional designer will be able to choose which design and approach is most appropriate and effective in terms of teaching a particular lesson. This includes individual and cooperative learning, the video presentations, interactive learning, and even the simple explanation. It's not only the approach itself that would be taken into consideration, but also the materials that will be the best fit for the design that is made. It can be printed materials like books or magazine and newspapers or digital resources such as websites, DVDs, and audio materials. This must be utilized in order to achieve better outcome in a particular lesson or instruction.
The fourth step of the SURE model will be the U, which stands for utilizing materials. This is where the materials and medias that were chosen from the previous steps will be used. In this step, the instruction is actually delivered wherein the materials and medias that are selected will take on its role and will now aid in the teaching learning process. R on the Assure model stands for the require learner response. This is the fifth step in the process. This also means that the instructor will be requiring participation from the learners. Requiring learner response is the part of the process where the students should be totally involved and interacting with the content itself. The students will be analyzing, thinking, creating, and discussing in this process. In order for the students to fully know and understand the lesson, they must take part on the teaching learning process. They should be immersed and involved in the learning process to ensure that learners learn what they need to learn.
The last and final step of the process of the Assure model will be the E, or the evaluation. According to one of the developers, this step is one of the three steps that is considered most important. This is where the instructor reviews and evaluates the instruction. When all the processes are completed, it is a must that the instructor will evaluate all the aspects involved in the design process. The instructor should look back on the original objectives and check to which extent these objectives are achieved and met. The materials and media should also be evaluated, checking if this effectively aided and contributed to the instruction. It is important to take note of the medias and materials that work effectively and those that needs improvement or needs to be changed. The learners' participation should also be evaluated to check how the learners are involved and if it led to the fulfillment of the objectives. As always, it is important for the instructor to evaluate if the students are able to attain the desired skills and knowledge that the instructor expects them to attain. In this way, the instructor designer will be able to know which work best and which are the things that are needed to improve and develop so it can be used in the future instructions.
To wrap this up, the Assure model is one of the instructional designs that are used today. If you are looking for instructional design that involves prep planning, learner participation, and even media integration that is easy to follow, the Assure model can possibly be the perfect fit for you.